Okay, let's start. Kick off the webinar. Um, what am I going to inform you about? Of course, who is Aon? What is the right insurance advice for students who are coming to the Netherlands based on laws and regulations? Why is it important to have an insurance when you are going to study abroad? The Aon Student Insurance. What kind of insurance do you need when you have a part-time job or when you're going to do an internship? How to apply for the insurance, how to pay for the insurance, and how can you get your money back for a claim? How does the healthcare system work in the Netherlands? And a recap of everything that I already told you. And I'm going to, as I said, I'm going to answer some questions. About Aon, who is Aon and what do we do? Well, Aon is an international advisor in risk management and an insurance broker. We have 500 offices worldwide and approximately 60,000 employees. Our global headquarters is in London in the UK. And here in the Netherlands, we have 8 offices and the headquarters is Rotterdam, where I'm based with my colleagues Elisha and Kadra. The department we work for is the Department International People Mobility, and from that department, the Aon Student Insurance is serviced and handled by a multilingual student services team. Over the last decade, we have insured and serviced over 450,000 students coming to the Netherlands or going outside of the Netherlands. We are a partner of many universities and universities of applied sciences in the Netherlands. And of course, internationally, we also offer the Aon Student Insurance. Insurance for students who are in the Netherlands or are coming to the Netherlands. What about the legal requirements? All international students, regardless of your nationality, either if you're non-European or you are European, if you come to the Netherlands to study, you need to take out private health insurance. International students who have a part-time job in the Netherlands or are going to work in the Netherlands must take out the Dutch public health insurance. That's a different insurance than the Aon student insurance. So here in the Netherlands, we have 2 kind of insurances. We have the private insurance and we have the public insurance. And then international students doing an internship in the Netherlands as part of their studies may be required to take out a Dutch public health insurance, but that depends on their nationality and on their internship conditions. And in the next slide, I will elaborate on that. And if you are not sure which insurance applies to you, you can always ask for an assessment, an online assessment from the SVB. That's the organization that is in charge of internationals and their insurances. You can ask an assessment of them, and they will give you a final answer. The website is written in the slide, but you'll receive a copy of the recording, so you will have that then in your email box. The Dutch public health insurance. As I said, students who come here to study can only take out the Aon student insurance or a private insurance. If you are going to have a part-time job, and again, it doesn't matter if you are an EU student or a non-EU student, once you start to work, you are by law obligated to take out the Dutch basic health insurance or the Dutch public health insurance. The monthly premium is 108 euros. If you are going to do an internship, and I'm going to focus now not on the EU and the EEA students, but on the non-EU and the non-EEA students, then you are only required to have Dutch public health insurance if you earn more than the Dutch minimum wage. So be aware of that. If you earn more than the Dutch minimum wage during an internship, then you need to take out the Dutch public health insurance, or the basic health insurance, as we call it. If you do not follow the rules, so you do not take out the correct insurance, you maybe receive a financial penalty by the Dutch authorities, and those are the CAK and the SVB. They will send you a letter the first time. The second time, they will send you a letter and a fine, and that can run up until 3 to 4 times. And every time, a fine of 528 euros is part of that letter. So you can easily run up, a fine of 2 or 3,000 euros. So make sure you oblige to the rules. That is really, really very important. Otherwise, you are required to pay the fine. And if you haven't taken out the Dutch basic healthcare insurance, or the Dutch public health insurance, which is mandatory for you, yeah, they will take it out for you, the Dutch authorities, and they will probably take out a much more expensive one. So I cannot stress enough that you have to be aware of the fact that once you receive a letter of the Dutch authorities, CAK or SVB, to open it and find out what they are asking of you. If you, in the meantime, have an Aon Student Insurance, you can see that on the right side of your screen. Then you go to your personal account on the Aon Student Insurance website, and you go to the Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance. I've started working. Do I need a Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance? Click on that, and then we will ask you some questions to give you the right advice, whether it's necessary to take out the insurance or not. And once you have taken out the insurance, you can change the Aon Student Insurance, so you keep the coverage that is non-medical, so you are fully insured. Why is it important to have an insurance in the Netherlands or anywhere if you go abroad? Well, you are responsible for your own expenses and your own liabilities. Without any insurance, you can find yourself in a significant financial hardship, because costs in the Netherlands are quite high, and maybe higher than you're used to. There is no government, there is no university who's going to pay for those expenses. So you are the one who is responsible for that. And in many situations, having health insurance is a legal requirement as well. Healthcare costs in the Netherlands can be very high, and maybe higher than you're used to in your own home country. To give you some examples, specialist consultations are approximately 110 euros per 10 minutes. An X-ray is approximately 80 euros, depending on what kind of X-ray you need. A CT scan, MRI scan, PET scans, all between 500 and up approximately an average of 800 euros. A hospital bed, a stay in hospital, is approximately 800 euros per night, and that's the bed only. And a bed in the intensive care unit is approximately 2,500 euros a day. So seeing these figures, you can imagine that having to pay some of this is a lot of money, and can set you back financially very hard. Insurance, although it's not the first thing you may think about when you are going to go abroad on an exchange or on a full degree, doing your bachelor or your master's somewhere, but it is very important that you take out insurance, because insurance protects you against unforeseen circumstances, such as emergency travel to your home country. You guys are non-EU students, non-EEA students, so you come from countries probably far away from here. If you need to go back because of an emergency, a life-threatening situation with family members, or even worse, you can not do, well, you can do it if you don't have an insurance, but then you will have to pay for everything. And if you cause an accidental injury to another person, or you damage another person's property, for which you can be held liable, you will have to pay that out of your own pocket if you don't have any insurance. And the same goes for theft or a burglary in your student home or room. So the key message we want to send to you is that insurance provides you financial protection, gives you peace of mind and access to the necessary care and assistance when unexpected events occur. Because we do have an assistance number, you can always contact us if you have any questions. So you are not alone when something happens. There is support. We can guide you in the right way. The summary of coverage of the Aon Student Insurance. Well, we have three packages. We have a full degree student insurance, we have an exchange student insurance, and we have an inter student insurance. And the only difference in the packages is in the section medical expenses. If you are a full degree student, you have full coverage, including pre-existing conditions and including mental well-being, so psychological consults. If you are an exchange student, then you, of course, are also covered for medical expenses, but you are covered for worsening of a pre-existing conditioning. So if you already have a pre-existing condition and you are an exchange student, and you, for instance, need to have medicine, then you can take that medicine with you. And everything that happens with regard to your existing condition, if it worsens here in the Netherlands, then you are fully insured. Then we will cover the costs. And of course, the cost of every other illness you get here in the Netherlands when you are doing that exchange or that internship. Because the exchange student and the interns are not for such a long period here in the Netherlands as a full degree student, there's a difference in the coverage. Because as an exchange student, you will probably be here for about, 7 months at max, whereas a full degree student is here for at least 2 to 3 years and maybe even longer. And part of the medical expenses are, all doctor's costs, all specialist costs. If you are admitted to the hospital, if you need a medically necessary operation, medicine prescribed by a doctor is covered, physiotherapy is covered, psychological help is covered. So it's a full health coverage you receive. And then for the full degree students, the pre-existing conditions are fully covered. And for exchange and intern students, we cover also the worsening of a pre-existing condition. Then the dental cost as relief of pain is covered in all three packages up until 350 euros per insurance year. Not covered is the regular checkups or the mouth hygienist. If you want to clean your teeth, of course you can do that, but that you will have to pay out of your own pocket. And the same goes for checkups, the checkups you would like to have. Dental costs in the case of an accident is also covered. We every year we see students who come to the Netherlands use mainly as means of transportation the bicycle, and then they have a lovely evening out, and they cycle back to their accommodation, and then they fall and break their teeth, and it needs to be yeah, you need to have new teeth. In those cases, you are covered up until 1,250 euros per insurance year. Everything above that amount, you will have to pay out of your own pocket. Then there is a repatriation coverage emergency assistance. Repatriation in case of a life-threatening situation in your home country with a family member, somebody is life-threatening ill, or even worse, has perished, and you need to go back. You can do that, and we will cover those costs. Also, it's a return ticket, so you can come back after, a certain amount of time, and you can proceed with your studies. So once again, also covered is the other way around. So if there's a life-threatening situation with an insured student, then family members can come over, and that will be covered up until 7,000 euros. So the plane ticket and the accommodation costs. Emergency assistance is also covered. So if you need emergency assistance, then you can contact us, and yeah, that's part of the repatriation, and we will make sure everything is organized, because we have an emergency assistance number and company who helps us with that. Then private liability is covered up until 1,250,000. Liability is something that's really important, because you are going to cycle here. You're living your life in the Netherlands, and if you accidentally break something of another person or harm another person, for instance, when riding a bicycle, then you can be held liable for for all the damage that is caused, and that could be damage to their goods like clothes, laptop, whatever. But it can also be damage if you had an accident with your bicycle and you ride into people and harm them, physical harm, and they can hold you liable for that. And if you don't have an insurance, you will have to pay for the damage that is caused. Then there's legal assistance. Legal assistance is covered for all three packages again. Legal assistance, to give you an example, you are probably renting a room here in the Netherlands. If you have trouble with the plumber, or a window is broken, you have problems with the person who is renting you the house, he or she doesn't want to fix things, you get into a legal dispute, well, you can contact us, and we have lawyers who can assist you with those problems. Then home content and travel. Home content is covered under the full degree insurance, and travel also. And for the exchange students and the interns, all your personal belongings are covered in your room, or if you are traveling. Then an accident coverage. Accident is covered also, all three packages. And if you, God forbid, something happens, you have an accident, a certain amount of money will be, given to you that caused the damage. And it's some sort of compensation for the damage you have suffered. Then the premium, very important. The premium for the Aon Student Insurance is 56 euros and 70 cents. And if you see the comparison between the Aon Student Insurance and the Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance, the mandatory insurance, so the public insurance I spoke about, which is 108 euros per month. which is only a basic healthcare coverage. Well, you can see the difference. It's yeah, half of what you are paying for that insurance. With the Aon Student Insurance, you have a full package with everything included. If you have a mandatory insurance for the Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance, because you're working, then you can receive a discount of 55% in order to have a supplement coverage on top of your health coverage. But then you are also insured for liability and, well, repatriation and home content, everything I just spoke about in a previous slide. So that is when you have the Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance and you start working. For the exchange student, the premium is 47 euros and 70 cents. And for insurance, it's also 47 euros and 70 cents. And if you, after your study, want to start a search year and you have been insured with us for at least 6 months, you can take out the search year insurance with us. But that is only applicable to students who have been covered by us, who were our clients over at least 6 months. Then we cover a lot, of course. And this insurance really, really covers a lot, but it is an insurance and there's always something that is not covered. And some of those things that are not covered are, for instance, claims related to alcohol and drugs damage are not covered. If you cause damage intentionally, you will not have coverage under the insurance. If you commit fraud or misrepresentation of facts, you know, on a claims form or maybe on, you know, the application, and we find out, you will be, the insurance will be stopped and everything that has already been paid to you, you will have to pay back to us. So don't do this. If you are not sure of something, just contact us and we will find a solution together with you. Then preventive care and over-the-counter medicine is not covered. Preventive care is, for instance, if you are here and you just want to have a checkup of your body without any medical necessity. That is, you can do that, of course, but that you will have to pay out of your own pocket because it's not part of the insurance. And over-the-counter medicine is medicine that you can buy yourself without a prescription, like, you know, paracetamol, certain painkillers, cough syrups, things you can buy in without a prescription at a drugstore, a pharmacy, or, you know, a supermarket. Those things you will have to pay out of your own pocket. And then high risk sports are not part of the coverage. For instance, deep sea diving, deeper than 30 meters is not covered. Bungee jumping is not covered. Certain survival sports are not covered. We have an extensive list in the policy conditions, which you can look up if you would like to. Again, if you have any questions, just contact us and we will help you. Then the healthcare system in the Netherlands, a very important one again, because it may be very different than what you're used to in your home country. Here in the Netherlands, we do not go directly to the hospital. We work in the Netherlands with a general practitioner. That's a huisarts, we call it. That's a general doctor who is your first point of contact. What you have to do as soon as you arrive in the Netherlands, we advise you to register with a GP because then you are in his system. And if there is a problem or you have a non-medical emergency, Like, you woke up one morning and you are feeling, well, not good, and you think it's better to contact a doctor. Well, then you are registered and contact that doctor. The GP is always your first point of contact for non-emergency health issues. If you contact them, his assistant will ask you some questions in order to give the doctor a heads up on what is going on, and to find the right doctor within that practice for you. The doctor will assess you and treat you, and if he thinks it's necessary for you to go to a specialist, because it is something that he thinks requires a specialist, the GP will give you a referral. With that referral, you can make an appointment in the hospital, and because of that referral, you will be reimbursed by us for all the costs. Without a referral, if you make an appointment in the hospital and you don't have a referral, you will have to pay those costs out of your own pocket. So always go to a GP first and make sure you have a referral. And if you have a appointment in a hospital or any organization here in the Netherlands, be on time, because we are very strict with the agenda and the timetable. If you cannot make it on time at an appointment, for instance, at a doctor, give them a call and ask them if you can come later. Because if you do not give them the heads up, they will give your place, your appointment to another person. But because you didn't call them to cancel, they will send you an invoice. And that invoice you will have to pay, but you will not be reimbursed for that. So be on time, and if you cannot make it, give them a heads up, preferably a day before. But if you're running late, just phone them. It's very, very important. As you may have heard, there is a shortage of healthcare providers in the Netherlands, especially general practitioners. That's because we have, the generation that is, working as a GP is, almost going with on their pension. And we don't have many young people who are taking over. So it can be a problem, but most of the universities and universities of applied sciences have good cooperation with the doctors within their vicinity. So most of the times you will always find a GP. But what you can do, you can find a GP through zorgkaart.nl. That's a website. Ask a fellow student to help you if you cannot find it or if you don't understand. But there is where you can find GPs within your neighborhood, because it is important that the GP is not further away than 20 to 25 minutes, a 20 to 25 minutes ride with the car from your home. You can also ask your university for help, and you can contact Aon for assistance. We have a database of healthcare providers, and maybe we can help you find one. Then with the Aon Student Insurance, you have free choice of healthcare provider. So you can go to any healthcare provider you want. We do not work with one or two in every city. No, we work with everyone. So you have the flexibility of that. The Aon Student Insurance, again, is a private insurance and is not connected to the national FECOSO system. The FECOSO system is a system where all persons with the Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance are registered. So If a doctor or assistant of the doctors says to you, well, I cannot find you in the system, they probably mean the FECOSO system, and you can mention to them, well, Aon Student Insurance is a private insurance, so you cannot find me in the system, but they can treat you because we will pay for the invoices. Then the online application. With Aon, we do everything online, although we do have, of course, the customer services colleagues, but the insurance you can apply for online. We recommend you take it before you arrive in the Netherlands, because then you are insured during the trip as well. And once you set foot on Dutch soil, you have coverage, because, you know, I cannot emphasize to you how often it has occurred that students arrive in the Netherlands on Schiphol airport, and then they you know, something happens to them, they fall or they break a leg, and then they are not insured. Then we have a problem. That's again, then you have to pay out of pocket. So make sure you are insured before you arrive in the Netherlands. So what you can do is, if you are, for instance, going to leave on the 2nd of August, and you are arriving on the 3rd in the Netherlands, take out the insurance from the 2nd of August and for the duration of your full study period in the Netherlands. So then you can, yeah, you have your peace of mind on that part of the practical things you have to arrange. There's no need to have a BSN number. That's the registration at City Hall. You can take the insurance without any registration, because it is a private insurance. Some universities take out the insurance for their students and pay for it, but the majority recommends their students, or ask their students, to take out the insurance themselves, and so they can pay for it themselves. If you take out the insurance for a certain period, and you know you are going to stay longer in the Netherlands, make sure you extend the insurance before it expires. And last but not least, don't let your insurance lapse, because then you have no insurance, and if something happens and you think you are insured, well, lots of hassles, lots of financial troubles, and you shouldn't want that to happen. So check that. Paying your insurance premium. So now you have applied for the insurance. Well, now comes the part of payment. We have flexible payment options. You can pay monthly, yearly, or at one time, whatever you want. You can pay with credit card, MasterCard or Visa, direct debit, so we can deduct the money from your bank account. You can pay with Ideal, which is now called Vero, of course, and you can pay by e-invoice, or you can do a bank transfer. The easiest way to do it is to start with a credit card, because you are still in your home country. Once you are in the Netherlands, you have opened a bank account. You can do it with direct debit, and you can change the way of payment in your online portal. If you want to check your payments, you can do that in the payment status in your online portal, because once you have applied for the insurance, we will ask you to make a online portal. So in that online portal, you can make all the arrangements, all the changes on your insurance. There is no separate confirmation sent to confirm that you have paid. You need to view that yourself in your online account. Once your application for the insurance is approved, you are required to pay the premium. So be aware of that. Or even though you don't use the insurance, once you have applied, you are legally binded to pay the premiums. And the consequences of not paying the premium can result into a default registration, which means that you are registered as defaulter, a person who doesn't pay their invoices. And this can affect your ability to obtain insurance in the future. So you shouldn't be wanting that to happen. So if you missed a payment, or you remember from, oh, I had to pay, but I didn't do that, just give us a call so we can make a note of that in the system, and nothing will happen to you. Keep that in mind. And university arrangements, again, if your university arranged the insurance for you, payment is handled through the university, but check that with the university. As I said, managing your insurance, we do everything online. So after your application, you'll receive all the policy documents in your email box. Manage the changes through your own personal online portal. Students who take out the insurance themselves can make an online portal. University arrangements are different, because if the university has to arrange your insurance with us, payments and changes are made by the university. So then you do not have an online portal. If you need to switch insurance or take out the basic health insurance, you can also do that through your own online portal. And if you have a change of plans, you need to cancel your policy because of, you're going to stop. There's a situation at home, you're going to stop. You can do that at any time. And if you have already paid a premium in advance, we will be refunding you a pro rata amount of the premium you already paid for. Then how to claim, very important. If you have a claim to make, again, you log into your own account, you submit the claim and follow the claims process. If you have a Dutch basic healthcare insurance, you claim first via the Zilveren Kruis. That's the insurance company that's been appointed to handle the claims. And that is for the EHIC, but that is not applicable for you guys. If you have a Dutch basic healthcare insurance, you claim first through your own healthcare provider. And if they don't pay enough, you come to us. If you have taken out the top-up insurance. And keep all your receipts, invoices, and medical documents for your claim, because you will need to upload them when you are submitting a claim. Well, then we are almost at the end. A short recap of everything. The Aon Student Insurance is for international students studying or doing an internship in the Netherlands. The key benefits are you have worldwide coverage, also during short holidays. Sorry. You do not need a BSN registration, so no registration at City Hall is required to take out the insurance. You have a medical coverage, including pre-existing conditions or a worsening of a pre-existing condition. You have psychological care up to 3,000 euros per insurance year. You have non-medical coverage like liability, repatriation, households, home content is covered. There's a 24/7 emergency assistance number you can contact if you are admitted to the hospital or you need to fly back home because there is an emergency. The Aon Student Insurance is compliant with Dutch visa requirements and Schengen area requirements. It is not valid for Swiss visa requirements because Switzerland has their own system, and yeah, so that's different. And what's really important is that the Aon Student Insurance is a private insurance and it's not eligible for healthcare allowance. So take care of that, because if you apply for healthcare allowance and you do have an Aon student insurance and they do accept you and they find out it was you were not eligible for that, you will have to pay back everything, which is of course normal because it is tax money. And if you're not eligible for that, well, it shouldn't go to the insurance you have. So be aware of that. And then service and contacts. Of course, we are here to help you. If you have any questions, just contact us between 8:30 and 5:30 from Monday to Friday. You can contact us by telephone or by email, or you can chat with us. And the chat function is with a real person. That's a real colleague of mine. And it's really very handy. If you want to have a quick answer to your question, just chat with us. And of course, you can also visit our website, which has a frequently asked questions section. And that section is very extensive, and you will probably find all the answers to your questions there. And then we would love to meet you, me and my colleagues from the Aon student team, because we are going to visit the universities and universities of applied sciences with regard to the welcome days or the arrival days, the introduction days. So we will be in these locations, and we would love to see you if you are there. Just come and visit our booth, and if you have any questions, we can always answer them. And otherwise, it would be nice to see you. A copy of this is also on our website, so you can find that on the website as well. And then I hope this webinar gave you some insight in how things work in the Netherlands with regard to insurances for international students. Thank you. And I hope you have a great time in the Netherlands, but